Okay, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Welcome. In this video, we are going to discuss on the next topic, which is motivation and emotion. In this topic, we are going to look at more details, three subtopics, which are theories of motivation. We're going to discuss three theories of motivation. And then we're going to look at how theories of motivation applied in everyday life under the subtopic of motivation in everyday life. And in the third part, we're going to discuss about emotion. Okay, in emotion, we're going to discuss about biological factors of emotion, cognitive factors of emotion, behavioral factors of emotion, and lastly, socio-cultural factors of emotion. Okay, first, before we talk about theories of motivation, let's look at what is motivation. Motivation refers to the force that moves people to behave, move people to think, and move people to feel the way they do. Okay, here I usually would like to stress that usually people have misunderstanding about motivation. Okay, I give you example. Sometimes when we go and join or listens to motivational talk, you feel really inspired. Okay, you feel really energetic. You feel really spirited, okay, to achieve your goal. Okay, say for example, you want to be a good student or the best student. Okay, so what happened? You are really spirited. You go back to your room. You go back to your house. You sleep. Tomorrow you wake up. You don't even do your revisions. Okay, you don't even do or execute the plan that you already done last night. Okay, this example sometimes people regard as having high motivation. Actually, it's not total of motivation. Motivation is what makes you behave in that way. What drives you to achieve your goals. What forces you to achieve your goals. Okay, characteristic of motivated behavior. Once you have high level of motivation, your behavior usually will demonstrate energized behavior. Means that your behavior is spirited, look like someone really care, someone really committed to achieve their goal. Okay, so related to the second characteristic, which is directed. Motivated behavior is behavior that are directed to achieve their goals, to achieve their purpose. What you want to achieve when you embark into that actions or activities. And another important characteristic is sustained behavior. Means that it's not a short-term behavior. You just feel energized, you just feel inspired, but it's not prolonged. It's only very brief period of time. So motivation is a concept where it makes us do what we want to do. Okay, if we want to do something, but our body don't execute it, we don't really perform it, it's not yet even motivation. Okay? Okay, next, theories of motivation. So here we are going to discuss three theories of motivation. The first one, which is a quite classic theory, the evolutionary approach of motivation. Second, we are going to look at drive reduction theories of motivation. And the last one, the optimum arousal theories of motivation. The first theory, the evolutionary approach, is like I mentioned just now, is a classic theory, one of the first theories that established to explain human motivation. Early psychologists who use this or follow this approach, they emphasize on the important role of instinct. Okay, important role of instinct that drive us to behave in certain way, that force us to do in certain things, that creates the need for us to achieve certain things. So what is instinct in this perspective? Instinct is basically an innate and unlearned biological pattern of behavior that is assumed to be universal. Okay, assumed to be universal not only to human being but also in animals. So basically, we have a natural instinct that we will behave in certain way. If people come and harm you, or if people come, they want to harm you, so everybody will react aggressively. Everybody will react by running away. So that is basically instinct, okay, things that we do naturally. So generally, instinct set in motion by assigned stimulus, things that we can see. So some human behavior, according to the evolutionary approach, is instinctive. Okay, it's basically natural. It's happened to everyone. Everyone can perform it. But research have seen that no human instinct seem to exist beyond that infancy period, not even during childhood. During infancy, I think when we learn in development chapters, there are reflexes where every babies, every infants have. Okay, for example, curling their toe, moving away towards the direction of people who touch them, for example. So all of those are instinctive behavior. So this instinct will drive us to behave in certain way. Hence, is related to motivation. Evolutionary psychologists, they believe that and they argue that motivation in human beings, such as motivation for sex, motivations for aggression, motivations for achievement, and motivation for other behaviors are rooted in our evolutionary past, are basically ingrained in our genetics. Okay, it emphasizes the passing instinct through one's gene. So basically, we inherit this in our genetics. Okay, it focuses on domains of life that are especially relevant to reproduction. So basically, people have this reproduction instinct when they have natural tendency to be attracted towards different gender. Even in early childhood, we can see that there is different reaction when boys see girls, when girls see boys, even though they don't understand yet at that particular time. So if we believe in this approach, so people have this instinctive behavior which are ingrained in our body. Okay, so even though it is one of the most classic, okay, the earliest theories of motivation, it does have some critics. Okay, in general, according to people who don't really follow this approach, in general, human beings are different from each other. Okay, not only between us, between animal as well. So human behavior is not simple. Human behavior is not straightforward. In fact, human behavior is complex. Okay, it's very complex that explaining human motivation on the basis of species-specific instinct is actually inappropriate. Okay, incomprehensive. We will not be able to explain complex behavior, goal-directed behavior, revenge behavior from this perspective. Okay, the second theories of motivation is drive reduction theory. So before I go further to explain about drive reduction, we need to understand two important concepts in this theory, which are need and drive. Okay, what is need? Need is a physical or biological deprivation that energizes the drive to eliminate or reduce the deprivations. So, drive, on the other hand, is an arousal state that occurs because of a physiological need. So, these two are interrelated between each other. Okay, I always give examples of hunger and sleepiness. Okay, a need is a physical or biological deprivation that energizes the drive to eliminate or reduce the deprivation. Give, for example, hunger. Okay, say for example, you have your breakfast early on the morning, okay, 7 a.m. in the mornings. So during lunch, you are unable to have your lunch. You have a lot of work to do, so you basically skip your lunch. When it reaches at 3 p.m., 4 p.m., you really feel hungry. Actually, this hungry is the result of the needs of your body. So your body are telling you that your energy is basically at the most minimum levels. Okay, you need to replenish your energy in order for your body to function at the optimum levels. So basically, when the energy levels reduce in your body, it create deprivation. It create need for your body to go and fulfill, to go and to handle, to address this deprivation. So when the deprivation happens, there is a drive of your body to go and search for the food, to go and cook, to go and order in Food Panda, in GrabFood, in all of the food deliveries app, for example. So because of the need, the deprivation, because of the lower levels of energy in your body, then your body create, okay, the drive, the force, okay, the drive in your body to go and make sure that you address this deprivation. So drive here, even though it's secondary, caused by the need, deprivation of our body, that will motivate us. Remember, motivation is about force. It's about drive that makes us to behave in certain way. So these two are highly interrelated, and these two are the main or the core concepts in drive reduction theory. Drive reduction theory explains that as a drive becomes stronger because the need, okay, the deprivation exists, we are motivated to reduce the drive. Okay, when you are feeling hungry, you will feel that the more you feel the hungry, then the more motivation or the more energy, the more spirited you to go and search of the food. Okay, to go and cook, to see what you have in your fridge. Okay, why? To reduce this tension. Okay, to reduce this deprivation, or basically to fulfill this drive. So drive reduction theory explains that as a drive becomes stronger, we as human beings are motivated to reduce this drive. That's why the name of the theory itself, drive reduction theory. So why we emphasize, or why we works, or why we behave to reduce this drive? Because it is natural in our body to make sure that our body at the state of homeostasis. Okay, the goal of this drive reduction is basically to make sure our body always at the state of homeostasis. So what is homeostasis? Homeostasis is the body's tendency to maintain an equilibrium or steady state. Okay, they don't want to feel hunger, or they don't want to feel too tired. Okay, when you feel too tired, then you will have the drive to go and rest or sleep. So these physiological changes, okay, drive to reduce the drive, as well as to achieve the state of homeostasis. Why? Because to maintain equilibrium, these physiological changes occur automatically. Okay, we are not controlling it. It's basically happen automatically in our body. Why? To keep our body in an optimal state of functioning. Okay, so it's automatic. When the energy is lower, then your body will tell you in terms of hunger. Okay, you feel hungry. Okay, you want to go and find food to reduce the deprivation. Okay, to reduce the drive. Why you need to do that? Because if your body don't have enough energy, so your body will not be in the state of homeostasis. Okay, the state of the steady state. Now, in this sense, then you cannot perform, you cannot function normally as you don't have enough energy. So this is what drive reduction theories explain about our motivation. Okay, even though it's very relevant to explain why people behave in certain way, why people have the drives, why people have the motivations to do certain things, this drive reduction theory also have some of its criticism. For example, drive reduction theory does not provide a comprehensive framework for understanding motivations. It can explain some basic natural behaviors, okay, hunger, okay, sleepiness, but some complex behavior still people are questioning on the applicability of this theory. Human motivation cannot be entirely explained by drive reduction theory because we seem motivated to be increased. Okay, we seem to be motivated, okay, to increase many drive, but not necessarily so, because sometimes is decrease. Okay, we seem motivated to increase many drive, but also not decrease many drives. Okay, the third theories of motivation that we are going to discuss is optimum arousal theory. So the main concept in this theory is arousal. Arousal here does not refer to sexual arousal, but arousal here refers to individuals' feeling of being alert and engaged. Okay, so basically it's a physiological arousal. Okay, it's not about sexual arousal. Feelings of being alert and engaged. Okay, optimum arousal theory focus that when we are very excited, okay, when human beings are excited, actually our arousal levels are high. Okay, why people are looks energetic, look excited, look committed, full of energy, because their arousal levels are high. Okay, on the other hand, when people shows boredness, boring, low energy, don't have any motivations to work or to do anything, at that particular times, their arousal levels are low. Okay, according to this theory, motivations influence arousal levels. Okay, our level of motivation will influence how high, how low, or moderate levels of arousal in our body. Okay, so there is one important concept under this theory, which is Yerkes-Dodson law. Okay, Yerkes-Dodson law emphasizes that our performance is best under condition of which arousal level is at moderate levels. Okay, so in contrast to the common understanding that we need high arousal to have higher or best performance, according to Yerkes-Dodson law, actually to have an optimum levels of performance, we need moderate level of arousals rather than either low or high arousals. Okay, when people explain about Yerkes-Dodson law, they will always give this graph. Okay, so if you notice, the stress levels and performance are related, but not in a linear way. Instead, in a curvilinear relationships. What curvilinear means that it does not increase every time. It increases until peak performance, then after that, the performance will drop. Okay, if you look at carefully here, when the stress levels or the arousal is very low, okay, the performance also not as high. Okay, so you need a certain levels of arousal to be able to perform at your best. Okay, here it mentions that in order to have peak performance, you need a moderate level of arousal. In this case, stress level. If you give the person more stress or more arousal, the performance will start to drop. Okay, you see, low arousal, people will still feel lazy, lame. Okay, when you give enough arousal, okay, healthy and peak performance. But too much arousal, too much stress, they will start to drop. The performance start to drop. And in fact, if you give too much arousal, people can even have illnesses, disease, burnout, or any mental health problems. Okay, so here example that I always give is assignment. Okay, if your lecturers give only one assignment, it will not incur the best performance in you. Okay, say for example, people or lecturers or other subject give you in total 3 assignments. So this is where 3 assignments at your peak performance, where you will manage your time, you will be effective, you will be efficient. But somehow, if you go more than that, okay, lecturers give you 7 assignments, 10 assignments, is basically overwhelming, too much, too stressful. Turn out you cannot perform or complete any of the assignments. Why? Your performance levels drop. Okay, so that is based on Yerkes-Dodson law concept, whereby as a human being, to be able to perform at our optimum level, peak performance, we need moderate levels of arousal.